CM Punk buries Hangman Page in an unplanned promo. Plus, Hangman Page was told to stay away from AEW Collision, and another AEW talent was sent home from Collision on Saturday night. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Look in my eyes, what do you see? CM Punk being rather silly. Took me all morning, that.
Why can't we all be friends?
Why can't we be friends?
Phil,
why can't we
just
be
friends, man? Yeah, this comes obviously after the news that, well, this is an update on news you may have seen already from over the weekend.
But to bring you up to speed,
yes.
Punk, along with FTR, addressed the North Carolina crowd after Collision on Saturday night, and Punk's eye was drawn, as if by an eye magnet, to a Hangman Page sign in the crowd.
And he said, look at this. Carolina is Hangman country. I'm playing the role of CM Punk.
I like it. He goes, earlier today, I went to a local supermarket and I figured out why they call him Hangman. It's because the pegs in the toy aisle are full of Hangman action figures because nobody wants to buy them. He's a peg warmer, unlike me, who moves merchandise and pops ratings and sells toys.
First of all, what does he mean Hangman? Does he mean like they are hanging from the pegs?
Yes.
He could have signposted that a little bit more clearly. He went on to say, we got everybody in AEW saying, I'm the heart, I am the soul, I am the spirit. Obviously shots there at the Elite for their recent
He did
promos.
it in like a little silly voice. I'm the heart, I'm the soul, I'm the spirit.
And he says, well, that's objective. What is a fact is that the people who say that certainly aren't the chin of AEW because the lights go out faster than what? GTS, go to sleep. He went a bit like 80s here, like a bit like
it was so weird.
Then he sort of became self-aware and went, I don't know what I'm trying to do. I got rocked as well. I told the House of Black no chops and they chopped me, so I'm very mad, which is him mocking the previous rumors that he wasn't happy with Hangman chopping him. There's so many references here. It's so deep. And I really do, this was clearly very like off the cuff, this, because it's a bit of a mishmash. It doesn't feel as focused as a pre-planned promo would.
Well, Phil, as long as you're having fun. Fightful Select our sources about said Punk promo, and they said, we were flat out told the promo after Collision was not a work or a planned thing that Punk was involved in.
Yes, the heat between Punk and Page began, obviously, if you've been living under a rock, it began last year during their feud for the AEW World Championship, where Page, on air during an in-ring promo battle, seemed to reference the uncertain status of Colt Cabana to CM Punk's face. Punk was legitimately annoyed by this. Then, on a future episode, he came out to the ring, knew that Hangman wasn't in the building, and said, get out here, you big coward, Hangman Page. Hangman didn't arrive because he wasn't scheduled to come out. And Punk went, see? Got him, he's a coward, which seemed a bit underhanded. Then it all led to Brawl Out, of course. Now, we've mentioned how there's been reports that Hangman has been praised backstage and everything for just not getting involved. The Bucks and Punk have sniped at each other and everything. Hangman's just stayed away from it, deliberately so. And as much as I love Punk, and he's like one of my favorites ever, it just feels mean when he keeps calling out Hangman like this. But do you think this was deliberately heelish? Some of the wording he used there seems deliberately, I sell the toys, I'm the blah, blah, blah.
And people were booing. And I think Dax went, oh, that seems like a heel turn. I don't know. I just think Punk's just going off on what he was out there to do the thanks for coming, love you guys thing, which wrestlers do at the end of shows. I think it's a really lovely thing to do. But I think he just kind of felt the energy from the crowd, decided to, I do think that Hangman Page to CM Punk is going to become like what Goldberg is to Bret Hart, in not so many terms, or Earl Hebner is to Bret Hart, or is Vince to Bret Hart, mainly Bret Hart. After Collision,
Bret's not the issue there.
Well,
no, those were
there's quite a few people he has issues.
Those were legitimate grievances. Yeah, but he was the best. This all led to.
Well, so what happened after that? So after that, after Collision, CM Punk went onto Instagram and he shared a story with the Guns N' Roses song "It's So Easy" playing, and it was a clip of Martin Landau as Bela Lugosi from the Ed Wood movie, and it's the bit where he's saying, "Pull the strings, pull the strings."
So I think they're saying that he's working everybody, and he's, I've got you all in the palm of my hand. I know what I'm doing. Which, okay, this could be deliberate, and it could be like deliberately riling everybody up and stuff. But then I think that's more effective if you then don't say, "I've got you all." If you keep that quiet. But this has coincided with news that Dave Meltzer reported recently that Hangman Page was supposed to be in the building that night, on Saturday night, the night of this episode of Collision that we've been talking about. But he said Page was actually sent to Greensboro last night to do a pre-tape interview backstage for Wednesday's Dynamite show. And when he got there, he was told they'd have to do it away from the Coliseum and not go to the show. He wasn't booked to appear on Collision itself, but he was meant to be in the building. And then they went, no. I feel so bad for him. He's been told to arrive somewhere, and they've got, you actually got to go somewhere else. And then the bloke goes out and calls him out and trashes him again.
It's very spicy.
It is.
Phil, as long as you're having fun. Now, we've done a list of the biggest bad guys in AEW, have Ross and I. It's an AEW Heels tier list. You can watch that on the YouTube channel right now. You know what? We've got a little bit of, not flack, but certainly some passionate opinion.
Some
debate, because in terms of how we rate and grade the heels, I think some people agree with and some people don't. But we're in a time of discourse.
You check it out yourselves.
Check it out yourselves and have your opinions in the comments beneath it on our YouTube channel right now. Hangman Page wasn't the only wrestler apparently sent away from Collision on Saturday night, was he, Jack?
No, according to Fightful Select, they were able to confirm that Ryan Nemeth was brought into town for the Collision tapings. Shortly after arriving, he was told by a coach that he wouldn't be needed and that a flight had been booked for him to return home. He is a regular, it's worth mentioning, on Being the Elite, and was confronted by CM Punk shortly after Punk's return this year. Specifically, Punk was taking exception to Ryan Nemeth's softest man alive tweet that followed Punk's return promo. Apparently, this is again the Fightful Select report, they haven't heard how things went outside of Ryan Nemeth explaining himself to Punk, and that they've pointed out it didn't end in anything physical between the two.
Now, Ryan Nemeth is thinking, making comments about CM Punk like that.
Why would you do that?
Why would CM Punk wouldn't do that?
He's never harmed a fly.
He hasn't hurt a fly. And, you know, if you have a problem with me, take it up with me. Now, someone did get backstage at Collision on Saturday night, thankfully. And what a guy to get backstage. Magnum TA was in the building. NWA legend was at the Greensboro Coliseum.
In fact, Punk shared this on Instagram and said, Magnum visited backstage in Greensboro last night, and I want to publicly say what an honor it is to be able to speak to the man. It's humbling that a legend takes the time, and it's always a pleasure to see one of the greatest come through. Wrestling royalty. He is wrestling royalty, Magnum TA.
Oh, without a doubt. One of these guys that should have been the top guy, but that car accident in 1986 put paid to big plans for Magnum to take over the wrestling world.
Yeah, that must have been so soon after. Like, he was on the cusp of becoming the next big thing, certainly in the NWA, because he'd had that amazing feud with Tully Blanchard, which is still referenced in kind of hallowed tones today. Everybody loves talking about it. And it is a shame. And you can clearly see Magnum TA's kind of rugged babyface influence on people like, ironically, Hangman Page, who wasn't allowed in the building. But that's okay. That's fine.
That's all fine. Why can't we be friends? Yeah. We'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. I love you. Bye.